Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to show and explain to you some of the non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance. I hope this video will help a lot for you to answer and solve problems in your worksheet. Let me first show to you our specific objectives in this lesson. I hope at the end of this video, you can incorporate our lesson objectives into an I can statement. So you can deduce that traits can be inherited through different patterns other than the non-Mendelian patterns or principles of inheritance. Second, solve genetic problems involving the different patterns of inheritance. And lastly, express the genotype and phenotype of the offsprings formed by the different crosses solved. Since you knew already our learning objectives in this video, let us review first the concepts on Mendelian principles of inheritance, which was discussed in your previous years. So, Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics. He studied on pea plants and its many different characteristics and traits. He then formulated the law of complete dominance. So, in the law of complete dominance, when you have a mommy white mouse and a daddy black mouse, and if you cross white and black mouse and then ask kung unsa ang ilahang offsprings, for law of complete dominance, you would have said that a certain percent would be white and others would be black. So that is in the law of complete dominance. So in this video, I'm going to show to you and explain how non-Mendelian principles of inheritance work. Okay? But before that, let us first unlock difficult terms or words. Okay? First, we have the word genotype. Now, what is genotype? Okay? Genotype. Now, what is genotype? Genotype is a word or a genetic constitution of an individual organism. Okay? This term or genotype is also an organism's complete set of heritable genes or genes that can be passed down from parents to offsprings. For example, genotype kung naa kay letters nga involved, like big letters A o gagmay nga letters nga A. Okay? Set of heritable genes or genes that can be passed down from parents to offsprings. Okay? So makita na nato siya kung makita tag letters nga ingon ani, set, pares. Another example is kung kog big letters nga C. Okay? Big letters C are or is an example of a genotype. Okay? Another nga word nga atong makita later on sa atong discussion is the word phenotype or phenotypes. What are phenotypes or phenotype? So, phenotype phenotype covers the organism's morphology or physical form and structure as well as the physiological properties. So, phenotype is a composite observable characteristics or traits of an organism. For example, kung naa kay genotype nga CC, ang phenotype ana, pwede ko mo ingon that CC is a genotype for curly hair. So curly hair now is our phenotype. So phenotype ang iyahang physical form or structure. Ang iyahang physical nga attribute or ang iyahang physical nga characteristic nga atong makita. Observable characteristics or traits of an organism. Okay? So, mooni duha ka mga words or terms ang atong makita later on as I'm going to explain to you on how to solve problems involving the non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance. Okay? Now, how non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance work? And what is this non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance? Okay? As I said earlier, ningon ko that Gregor Mendel formulated the law of complete dominance. Okay? Now, there are traits or there are concepts that do not follow Gregor Mendel's laws. Okay? There are concepts that do not follow Gregor Mendel's laws. And these are the non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance. So again, non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance do not follow Gregor Mendel's laws. These are also concepts or inheritance concepts Mendel never imagined. Again, non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance do not follow Gregor Mendel's laws, and these are inheritance concepts Mendel never imagined. So, wala ni nakita nga concept ni Mendel, ni Gregor Mendel. Mong gitawag siya nga non-Mendelian principles of inheritance. Okay? Sa pag-study ni Mendel sa pea plants, wala ni niya nakita nga mga probabilities or possibilities. Mong gitawag siya nga non-Mendelian principles of inheritance. Now, what are unsa maning mga non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance? For this video, I'm going to focus on 3 non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance. First, we have codominance. Another, incomplete dominance. And the third one is sex-linked traits. Now, what are these non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance? Ato siyang usa-usahon. Okay? So, here, let us first have the codominance. So, unsa si codominance? Codominance is an inheritance in which both traits are codominant or both traits are dominant and show up in the phenotype together. So, pag ngayon taog codominance, both traits are dominant and show up in the phenotype together. Co means together. So, makita gali nato ang duha ka phenotype together, ang tawag nato ana nga non-Mendelian principles of inheritance is codominance. For example, if you'll try to breed a black chicken, kung atong i-breed si black o si white chicken, unsa kahay posible nila nga mga anak. This is for codominance. So, ang ilang mga anak will look, or the offsprings will look like this one. Okay, can you see the chicken? So, ang tawag ani is a checkered chicken. Checkered kay wala og checkered ang ilahang balahibo. Okay? Ang tawag ani nga principle or non-Mendelian principle of inheritance is codominance. Makita nimo sa usa ka organism ang duha ka phenotype together. Co means together. So, codominance. Naa ang puti, naasad ang itom. Okay? Another example is this one. No, posible ka nga makakita in ani nga chicken. So, codominance gihapon siya nga principle, non-Mendelian principle of inheritance. Okay, what if you're going to cross a green watermelon and a white watermelon? So, makakita ka og watermelon nga naay white nga mga stripes. Again, another example of codominance nga non-Mendelian principles of inheritance. Okay? Another example is this one. This is an orchid. Okay? So, an example of a codominance. Another is when you're going to breed red and blue fish. So, si red fish, gibreed na to siya kang blue fish. So, tanawa unsa iyahang offspring or iyang anak. Kay isda nga naay tuwa o blue nga mga dots or characters sa iyahang lawas. Okay? Now, what if we're going to cross a white and a red cattle? Okay? A white cattle is bred to a red cattle. The offsprings are white with red dots. Okay? So, ang tawagan ng mga anak ni your offsprings are roan cattles. Okay? So, still another example of a codominance. Okay. Now, we also have here blood types AO, BO, and AB. Okay? AO, BO, and AB is another codominant or codominance non-Mendelian principle of inheritance. Okay? Okay. Now, I will give you a sample problem on codominance. Sa itong codominance, traits or both traits are dominant and show up in the phenotype together. Okay. What if you were given a problem like this? Okay, so let us read the problem. Pretend that Drake is homozygous. What do you mean by homozygous? Homozygous gani kung pareho dagko o kung pareho gagmay, homozygous na siya. For example, big letters A o small letters A. Kani homozygous, pareho kadagko. This one is also homozygous, pareho ka gagmay. What if kuno si Drake is homozygous for type B allele? Okay? And Nicki Minaj is homozygous for type A. So using a Punnett square, this Punnett square will help us aron makita nato ang iyahang mga probable offsprings. Unsay posible or probable niya nga mamahimong anak. Ani nga breed. Okay? Again, ang sagal ito, si Drake na ay homozygous for type B. Nicki Minaj has type A, still homozygous. So, you have Drake nga na ay type B, homozygous, pareho dagko. Nicki Minaj pod, type A, pareho pod dagko. Okay? Now, ang pangutana is, unsa ko no using this Punnett square, unsa ko no ang ilahang possible nga blood types. Okay? Sa posible nga o probable nga offsprings ni Drake o ni Nicki Minaj. Okay? So, you have big letter A and big letter B. For this column here, kani nga column diri, kuhaon diri, a cross between A o B. So, copy lang, AB And then you also have AB. Kani po diri nga column, diri po ta magbase kana diha. So you have AB and another AB. Okay? So you have now predict the possible blood types of their offspring or offsprings. So unsa may possible or posible nga blood type nila. So you have AB, blood type AB. Okay? So this blood type AB is an example of codominance. Okay, in which both traits or both nga traits dominante o ni-show up ang phenotype together. Okay, si A o si B. Okay? So I hope nga nakasabot mo sa codominance nga non-Mendelian principle or pattern. Okay? So kung may mga pangutana, pwede na po ninyo i-chat. Okay? Or private message or dito sa ato ang GC. Okay. Now let's move on to the second non-Mendelian pattern of inheritance. Okay, I hope nga nasabtan to ninyong homozygous nga alleles. Okay? Next is on the incomplete dominance. Now, what is incomplete dominance? Kung ang codominance, both traits are dominant, kunya ni-show up siya together, ang incomplete dominance is, okay, neither trait is completely dominant, and as a result, there appears to be blended. Or, kanit siya nga principle or non-Mendelian principle of inheritance, tawagon po din nato siya o blending inheritance. Okay? Again, incomplete dominance, neither trait is completely dominant. Wala gyud sa ilaha ang complete nga or dominant. Okay? But as a result, there appears to be blended. Managitawag siya nga blending inheritance. Incomplete dominance or blending inheritance. Okay, for example, what if you have here red 4 o'clock flower and white 4 o'clock flower. A breed between a red 4 o'clock flower and white 4 o'clock flower yields in pink 4 o'clock flower. So naay blending inheritance. Kung i-mix nimo ang puti o ang puwa, ang resulta mahimong pink. No, just like pinks. When you mix black pink and white pink, ang resulta will be gray. Okay? So that example is an example of an incomplete dominance. Okay? Blending inheritance. Neither trait is completely dominant, but as a result, there appears to be blended. What if you have a white mouse and a black mouse? What do you think will be their offspring? Correct. The offsprings will be gray. Okay? Like this one. A white dog, when a white dog and a black dog is crossed, okay, the result will be gray dog. Another, when you have a red gomamela and a white gomamela, the result will be a pink gomamela. A white rose and a red rose will result in a pink rose. Okay. So again, what the Mendelian pattern is exhibited? The incomplete dominance. Okay? So blended or blending inheritance. There appears to be blended. Okay? So daghan kay makita actually ani nga mga example pod sa palibot. Okay, especially sa mga bulak. Okay, now let us solve problem involving incomplete dominance. So let us try this example. Okay. Again, a homozygous black chicken is crossed to a homozygous white chicken. Homozygous black and homozygous white. Let us just say nga ato ang homozygous black chicken ingon ani ang iyahang genotype black man, so mogamit na lang ta og big letters B for black. Okay. Gicross siya sa homozygous pod nga white chicken. So ibutang nato nga atong gamiton nga genotype is big letters W, which is white. Okay. So using the Punnett square, predict the genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring. Unsa kuno ang iyahang genotype ug unsa pud kunoy phenotype sa iyahang mga anak. Okay? So let us use this Punnett square and predict the genotype and phenotype of the offsprings. Okay? So mogamit ta og black, big letters B. For white, we have big letters W. Okay? So big, big, big B, big W, big W. Okay? So, same sa atong gibuhat kagaina, you copy lang for this column, kanang duha. So, you have B, W. Basin matingala mo, ma'am, anong dili pwede W o B? So, para dili lang ta maglibog o for uniformity purposes, ato lang siyang i-alphabetical. So, dapat mag-unag yun si B kang W. Okay? So, BW, BW, another BW, and BW. So, what do you think are the genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring? Okay? So, the offsprings will have a genotype of BW, which is, unsa man si BW? Okay, incomplete dominance man. Unsa man iyahang phenotype? So, BW is a mix between black and white. So, ni-result siya sa gray nga color. So, gray is the phenotype, while BW is the genotype. Okay? Again, what non-Mendelian pattern of inheritance is exhibited? The incomplete dominance. Okay? Blending inheritance appears, the offspring appears to be blended. Okay? Okay. Now, kung naghapoy mga pangutana o wala pag yun nasabtan, pwede ra mo chat or mag-private message or pwede ra mo mangutana sa ato ang group chats or GC. Now, on the third one, we have the sex-linked traits. Now, what are sex-linked traits? Unsa man ni sex-linked traits? So, sex-linked traits are, or is a trait, sex-linked trait is a trait in which a gene is located, a trait in which a gene is located on a sex chromosome. Okay, unsa man ni siya? For human, di ba we have X and Y chromosomes. Naapoy X, double X nga chromosome. Di ba? XY kung male, double XX for female. Tungod kay usara ang X sa male, ang mga lalaki kasagaran ang maka-experience ani nga mga sakit. Okay? Kay for female, kinahanglan siya nga both duha ka chromosome, X chromosome niya, ang maka-experience or maka-carry ani nga ibutang ta trait, or both X chromosomes dapat nagdala adto niya nga inheritance or trait or gene. Okay? So, unsa man ni si sex-linked traits? Examples of these sex-linked traits, we have baldness. Okay? Baldness is the condition of having a scalp wholly or partly lacking hair. Sa mga lalaki, kanang mga panot. Okay? Kanang pagkapanot is an example of a sex-linked traits. Kinsa may kasagaran mga panot, di ba, mga lalaki? Because baldness is a sex-linked. Okay? Sex-linked, nakalink na siya sa X nga chromosome. Okay? Another is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a condition or a medical condition in which your blood does not normally clot. So, og manutbrush ka, magdagan-dagan ka, nga nadagma ka, kung naa kay hemophilia or hemophilic ka nga person, dili mo undang og dugo ang imuhang samad. Okay? Now, hemophilia is also an example of a sex-linked trait. Ang mga lalaki rapod kasagaran ang maka-experience ani nga mga sakit. Okay? So, nagitawag siya nga sex-linked traits. Okay? So, hemophilia and baldness are two examples of sex-linked traits. Okay? Now, let us try to answer problem involving sex-linked trait in non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance. So, kani atong i-try og answer. Okay, let me try to erase this first. Hopefully, you are not confused sa ato ang discussion karon. That's why I'm really making this video for you to be able to understand and be able to answer the questions on your worksheet. Especially lisod karong mga panahon na kay dili face-to-face ang discussion. Okay? So, let us try to solve this problem. Okay. So, in humans, hemophilia is a sex-linked trait. Okay? Now, females can be normal, carriers, or have the disease. So, dili pareho sa mga lalaki nga og ang X gali nila na anay hemophilia, directly ang male magka-hemophilia na dayon or hemophilic person na dayon siya. Ang mga babae, kung diba ang babae has 2X nga chromosome. Kung ang usa ka chromosome sa babae na ay hemophilia, butang tag small h refers to hemophilia, dili siya hemophilic nga person but a carrier one. No? Carrier lang siya but not a hemophilic person. So, ang babae, females can be normal, posible siya nga mahimong normal, carrier, or naa siya'y disease. Okay. Males will either have the disease or not. So, duhara ang kapilian sa lalaki, pwedeng naa siya'y disease or wala. So, they won't ever be carriers. So, walay carriers nga lalaki for sex-linked traits such as hemophilia. Okay, so I will write first the alleles for normal nga female, carrier nga female, o hemophilia or hemophilic nga female. So, X, o big letter H, homozygous H, refers to a female normal nga person. Okay? And then, X na siya big letter H o gamay nga H, which is hetero. Hetero kay dili pareho ka dakon. Diba? Kani homozygous kay pareho ka dakon, dili pareho ka dakon, heterozygous. So this one is a female carrier na siya. Nganong female carrier na siya? Kay nag-carry na siya og hemophilia sa iyahang gene. Another is kung duha na gyud kabuok ang hemophilia sa homologous chromosomes, naa na siya or kani nga female is already hemophilia or hemophilic nga female person. For males, duha ra ang iyang kapilian, right? Posible siya nga normal or hemophilia. Okay? So big letter H on the X chromosome refers to a normal male nga person. Male nga normal, pero ang lalaki nga naay small h on the X chromosome, siya maoy male nga hemophilia. Okay? Nakuha? So, sa mga babae, posible nga normal, carrier, o hemophilia. But for males, duha ra iyang kapaingnan, normal or hemophilia. Okay? So, unsa may atong gihisgutan diri kanang X chromosome nga naay or nagdalag sakit nga hemophilia. Okay? So, the question here is, let us show the cross of a man who has hemophilia with a woman who is a carrier. So, ipakita ko nun nato in our Punnett square ang cross between a man, ang tao or ang male nga naay hemophilia ug ang female nga carrier. Okay, did you get that? So a cross between, let us show a cross between a man who is hemophilia and a female who is a carrier. Okay, so unsa man tong sa lalaki? So you have X and then nag-carry siya o hemophilia and then ang iyahang Y chromosome. Another is babae nga carrier lang. Okay? Big letter H o small letter H, who is a female carrier. Nag-carry lang siya sa hemophilia, pero dili siya hemophilia na gyud nga person. Unsa kunoy offspring ani? Okay? So yeah, for this column, kanilang atong i-copy, right? So, X, big letter H, X, small letter H. Okay? So, both you have H with a big letter H and Y. Here, you have both X chromosome ang naay small letter H. And then, you also have a chromosome nga naay small letter H and Y. So, pila ka buok lalaki, diba? Kay naman tay duha ka buok babae o duha ka buok lalaki. So unsa may, let us say, unsa may unsa man ang iyahang mga anak, diba? Na atay 2:2 nga ratio, meaning duha ka male na apoy duha ka females. Okay, 2 males and 2 females. Mo nang iyahang mga anak. Sa duha ka lalaki, pila ka buok ang hemophiliac. Okay, so di ba kani Y determines the sex of a male, di ba? Kung naay Y, meaning lalaki siya. Kung ang iyahang last niyang chromosome is an X, meaning babae siya. So, sa kaning duha ka mga lalaki nga iyang mga anak or ilang mga anak, pila ka buok ang hemophiliac. So, naatay isa, 1 male nga hemophiliac and 1 male nga normal. Now, for females, females, right? Pila ka buok ang hemophiliac. So, naay 1 female, isa ka babae nga hemophiliac, o isa pod ka babae nga only carrier. So, carrier lang siya, but not hemophiliac. So, 1 female nga carrier. Okay? So, this is an example of a sex-linked trait. This is an example of a person or a trait nga naay condition nga hemophilia. What if i-cross nato si a man nga naay hemophilia? What if i-cross nato siya sa female nga carrier? So, ang posible nila nga mga anak is isa ka lalaki nga hemophilia, isa ka lalaki nga normal, isa ka female nga hemophilia, o usa ka female nga carrier. Okay? So, I hope nga nasabtan ninyo ang ako ang video and you find it interesting. O kung naamoy mga pangutana, you can directly make private messages or pwede mangutana on our group chats. Okay? So, thank you for watching. Goodbye, guys.